All right, Vince.
What up?
What
Are
is...
we live? Are we coming live right now?
I mean, we might be.
Okay.
just-
Yes or
We're
no?
just hanging out right now.
Oh, you're right. Real life is live time television.
I feel like it's important that I represent Irish culture and say happy St. Patrick's Day, I guess.
Yeah,
Are you Irish?
I am Irish.
You are?
Yeah, on my mom's side, they're quite Irish.
Quite Irish. I'm not.
Irish. My mom's grandmother her maiden name was O'Grady. And
O'Grady?
I don't know if she
Old lady?
O'Grady, the old lady. I don't know if they immigrated from Ireland or if my great grandma O'Grady's parents were the first generation, but I think my great grandmother O'Grady was like second or third generation American, so they had only migrated like 2 generations before.
Whoa.
So my mom's side is pretty Irish. My mom's mom, Kathy O'Grady, married Dean Nelson, and I think he had some Irish in him too, but he's like Danish or something.
Okay.
So my mom's pretty Irish, so I'm like, I don't know.
Have you ever
a
done one of
fifth or
those
so?
like 23andMe or whatever?
Is that where they tell you like
I
what
think-
you are and everything?
Yeah, I did.
Like what I want to do one. I haven't done one. It would be really awesome to do, but
I did
haven't done
one
of
like
those.
over a year ago, and then like 6 months ago I checked it again, and a lot of my results had changed.
What the
Like
fuck?
they're like, oh, due to recent updates in our program, we've
Okay.
clarified better results or whatever. And
Weird.
it turns out that I'm like mostly French and Scottish.
Okay.
But they don't say Scotland specifically. They just say like the British Isle
Yeah.
area
Could be Welsh.
and that too. So, but not Irish.
Specific.
Specifically not Irish.
I can't do a Welsh accent. I can maybe mimic it if
Welsh.
I heard it, but like Sean Connery or something.
Sean Connery.
That's a pretty good one.
That's an impression of a guy doing an impression.
An
of Sean
impression of
Connery.
Sean.
Money pussy. I don't know why he said that. What does that mean? He used to say money pussy.
He used to just say that.
Yeah, like he called people that.
It might have been one of the Bond girls' names in one of
Money
the James
pussy.
Bond movies.
They used to just say pussy.
Yeah.
Like it was just a cute
I mean,
name.
it was just like the name of one of the Bond movies was
Like a
Pussy,
cute little kid-
Pussy Galore.
cute
was
little
like-
kitten. That sounds like the name of a porn that could have just come out.
Yeah, and the chick's name was just Pussy Galore. He was like, "It's good to see you, Pussy Galore." She's
Pussy
like,
galore. She's like, I got puss galore. That's why.
"Yeah,
Lots
I
of
got
puss.
multiple pussies."
You want to see it? It's enormous.
It actually looks like a Venus flytrap.
It's oh my god, but much more inviting.
Yeah,
Without the
all
teeth.
lots of different snapping heads on
It's
it.
like a Venus flytrap if it had gotten dentures removed.
Yeah, it was nice and soft
Yeah.
and pliable.
So
a Venus
anyways-
flytrap you'd want to put your dick in.
Would you though? Have you ever looked at a Venus flytrap and been like,
No, but if it was
I'm
like
gonna put it in
between a girl's legs and there was a whole bunch of them and they were nice and soft looking, I don't know. Maybe.
like if the teeth
you're
were
right.
are they
or
they
no
teeth
teeth. There's no teeth. No.
I'm sorry, but there's no way I could be sold on the teeth part.
No, you're not selling me on a vagina with teeth ever, no matter how many of them you have.
Yeah, I mean, if I was in a relationship with someone with pussy teeth, I'd be like, look, I really like you, I love you, this is really working out, we're perfect for each other, but your puss has teeth,
Yeah.
and they gotta get out of
We're
there.
gonna have to remove those.
Yeah.
Do you go to a dentist for that?
And
or
if
a
she
doctor?
refused to do that, I'd be like, well, you're not willing to put in the work for
Yeah.
this relationship.
You need to go find someone with a dick
Because-
made of hot dog meat.
I mean, I feel like you could trust her mouth because that's where her brain is.
Yeah.
And that's where she is.
But her
you know?
brain's not controlling the puss teeth.
I just feel like that area is more of like a wildlife.
Those puss teeth
Sort
have a
of.
mind of their own.
Like you don't know what she could like have a flinch contraction down
Right,
there,
yeah.
and then all of a sudden your knob just gets
Yeah.
bitten off.
Or at least some nice marks on it. How strong could her pussy teeth really be?
See, that's
Like,
the
are they
thing,
like
though. I
snapping
don't know.
closed like a fucking bear trap, or are they just, or is it just as strong as she can tighten her kegels?
You're just
up,
like, why
you
is
know?
there a chain and a lever hanging down from your vagina? Why is there a barefoot in your vagina?
My dad was really serious about the chastity belt.
Oh, man. Has there ever been a more ridiculous invention than the chastity belt?
A bear trap made into a chastity belt would have definitely been worse.
Well,
or maybe
there is one.
What's the one for men? It's like a cock thing.
Oh, I wonder if they ever made, like cigar cutters?
Oh, God.
If they ever put one of those on a chastity belt.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Because it's similar shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, slip it right in there. Go ahead.
And then it just like guillotines your dick off.
Yeah,
Holy
especially if
shit.
the guy's Cuban.
I don't get. Oh, yeah.
Cuban cigars.
Okay, I got it.
All right.
You're a little too quick for me
All
on
right.
that one.
So, happy St. Patrick's Day. I have some Ireland facts.
Remember,
Um,
I said I was Irish a minute ago, so I can do that shit.
was that...
That's not.
That's
That's a lot of the Irish. That's the Gaelic. I'm speaking the ancient Gaelic.
the Gaelic.
That's the tongue of me da. Me forefathers.
The tongue of your da.
Not me forefathers, but me I had four fathers. I had two sets of gay dads.
Just fucking old druid bearded dads.
My
just
gay
tonguing
dad.
each other.
My gay dads got divorced, and then they each got married to another gay dude. So I had two sets of gay dads. So my four fathers. Those are my four fathers.
Yeah, okay, that works. I wonder how high the divorce rate in Ireland is, because they're super Catholic, right?
Not as much as they used to be. Their prime minister's gay, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Their prime minister is straight up out of the closet homosexual, and he has. Oh, they'd probably call him a fudge packer or all kinds of different mean things.
They say twink.
Oh, probably.
Is that like an Irish thing to say?
I don't think it's
I
Irish.
thought it, but I don't say it.
No, yeah, their prime minister is gay, which is pretty amazing and awesome.
That's actually pretty cool.
That they voted it. But then I guess there's a lot of, I don't know. I don't know shit about it except for the random tidbits I pick up on Reddit. But I saw people talking about their prime minister the same kind of way we talk about Trump here. Like they were.
Oh, really?
They feel like, well, certain people, I guess, feel like he schemed his way into the office without really winning any elections, which I have no idea how true that is or why someone would think that, because I don't know anything about Irish elections. But that's what
I don't know.
I was reading
about
on
any elections.
Reddit is people were saying like hasn't really done anything good for the country or this or that, which I mean, who fucking knows what's true when people on Reddit, it's just like the two extremes. You either get the extreme right wing or the extreme left wing opinion. So I don't really know what's true.
And either whichever side you're reading, there's going to be a problem.
The fact that he got voted in, or the fact that he's prime minister, is enough for me to think like that's really good, because I know they're a very Catholic country, and they've had a lot of religious like control over their history and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't think America would vote in an openly gay president. I really don't think. There's
president
no way.
Or prime minister?
Well, I think that's kind of the same. For them, a prime minister is like the office of presidency in the United States. It's equivalent to. We have Congress, and like the U.S. government, they have Parliament, and like the prime minister is the head of Parliament, I think. I don't.
So like
know.
here
I could
we
be
have
sounding
a
like
prime
a total
minister
idiot
that's
right now.
separate from.
We don't have a prime minister.
We don't
America.
have.
No.
So the president acts as the prime minister.
Well, like we just call it a president, and they call it a prime minister. And like the UK, England, they have a prime minister, but like we just have a president.
Why do we got to do everything different?
Korea has a supreme leader. I mean,
I guess the president of China now was sworn in like for the rest of his life.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah.
And like I guess the people wanted it that way. Which,
for sure.
Yeah,
they all did, every one of them. And if they didn't want it that way, they're dead now.
If they didn't want it that way, no one fucking cares.
Yeah.
Because China.
No one's listening to you.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I had a couple
let's
facts
talk
about the Irish.
St. Patty's Day.
None of them are very cool. Here we go. They invented whiskey in 1405, I think.
Dang, that's actually...
So these are
surprisingly
facts.
Later than I thought it would. I thought it would have been like as soon as they became a country. They're like, we are now whiskey land.
You send in a 23andMe and they're like, 50% of your blood is whiskey.
It's just whiskey.
So we're not even going to run a test.
Yeah,
You're pretty much
barrel-aged whiskey.
And we got hints of oak.
Yeah, this
is kind of weird.
We're all fucked up down here at the office, so thanks for that.
We're all drinking your blood.
That old joke of why did God create whiskey? It's so the Irish wouldn't rule the world, or wouldn't take over the world.
Yeah.
Because they're all too drunk to do anything.
I mean, or they're doing stuff because they're drunk.
Yeah.
You know, like Conor McGregor.
Right. Conor McGregor.
He's doing all kinds of stuff. He's smashing people's cell phones. He's throwing, metal dollies into bus windows.
Right. He's fighting fighters who are a much higher caliber of him than he has no fucking business fighting whatsoever.
He's out walking around with his suits.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Talking about Maltesers.
Cool guy, though.
I like him.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like what he's doing. Robert Boyle. Who's that? You know who that is?
Is that Suzanne Boyle's younger brother?
It is. And he also invented Boyle's Law, which is the chemistry idea of air pressure and volume adversely affecting each other.
And he's from Ireland?
Yeah, he's straight up Irish.
Air pressure and volume adversely affecting each other. Interesting. I don't know what that means. But
well, it's just like, you have a sort of a pressurized reaction with like chemicals and air pressure when you incorporate it together. Like you know what, fuck it, I don't really know what it means either. But cool guy.
Way to go, Suzanne Boyle's younger brother.
Samuel Jackson.
No. No.
Motherfucking Irish. Samuel O'Reilly. Samuel O'Reilly modified Thomas Edison's electric pen to become the first tattoo gun.
Whoa, that's tight.
So that's what's up.
Thomas O'Reilly?
Yeah.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
It's like, what if I take this and I
The forefather of tattooing.
I do this face on your hand.
And it never goes away.
Yeah. It's like, oh, fuck, I didn't realize that was
Yeah,
gonna
he's
happen.
like, I didn't know if I made my pen electric, it would put it.
I was going to just write like a funny
joke
on you.
Yeah.
And now it's there forever. Right under your eye. And it's Takashi. Takashi O'Reilly.
69.
They had the first early color photography development.
Ireland?
Yeah, apparently.
Damn.
I watched all this morning, so
Oh,
I was
okay.
half asleep
Yeah.
writing this stuff down.
You were feeling real festive.
Guess how many snakes they have?
Zero.
Zero.
Not one.
They have zero.
I knew that because St. Patrick drove the snakes from Ireland.
Right, that's what they say.
But-
That's what they say. They meant black people, though.
Yeah. Oh my God! He made sure there was not a single snake, wink, wink, left in Ireland. If you know what I mean.
1919 claimed independence from the British. Damn.
And the British were like, "I don't fucking think so.
Well,
we're gonna be at war for that for a while yet to
so
come."
this is sort of what happened, I guess. They declared independence in 1919 against the British.
They're just like the prime minister of Ireland in his office. I declare independence. They're like, you don't just declare independence. He's just like,
He's like, how else do you do it?
who do I say it
I
to?
said it. It's out there.
It's like The Office
move
when
on.
Michael Scott's like, I declare bankruptcy. And Oscar's like, you can't just say bankruptcy and then it mean anything. He's like, I didn't say it. I declared it.
I declared it. So there it is. But I guess the British didn't leave until 1922 because some fuck-ups in the Irish army shot some British guys on the day they declared. So the fighting sort of kept going.
Wasn't World War II going on at that time, or was that World War II? World War I was that over already?
I think it's
like around the same time, wasn't it?
Know enough about World War I. I don't even know if the Irish were in World War I.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean,
but
they're like, we're making
go.
whiskey, boys. Sorry.
They're like, look, we ain't got no snakes.
Right.
We got good whiskey. Like, why are you guys
What
fighting?
are you guys fighting about?
Just come over here.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah.
Take
Dude, the
their
British
land
have
from
been
them.
there forever.
Yeah. The British have been doing that to everyone, though. For a lot. I mean,
they're always up in people's Kool-Aid.
We're over here in America because the British couldn't fucking sit still for 20 minutes.
Yeah, and John Wayne has some feelings about that too, which we'll get to.
Yeah. What I just read a fact the other day that I think it was. I'll have to look it up to know for sure, but every 3 days, I think it is, or every 5 days, a country, at least one country around the world, celebrates their independence from England.
Jeez.
So like every 3 to 5 days, there's a country out there like, on this day 100 years ago we became independent from England, and then like 2 days later the country next door is like, us too. Every fucking day of the year is a freedom from England day, pretty much.
It's like England was just this super successful hound dog that just slept with all these beautiful women and just fucked them up mentally.
How did
and
we
they all
go
get
from
together
a
and they're like
metaphor of
celebrating the fact that they broke up with England?
So this metaphor started out as England being a hound dog, but then the hound dog was fucking beautiful women. Like, why couldn't they be other beautiful dogs?
Because then it wouldn't be as entertaining. I feel like if it was human
wouldn't
on
be
human.
as good of an imagery in my head of.
I mean, just that sort of exemplifies their power, because if you're a dog and you're cross-species fucking, you know you're doing something
and it's taking 100 years for the woman to be like, we don't want to be part of your fuck show anymore, hound dog.
My family has disowned me since I started fucking dogs.
All my resources in my country are depleted. We have no money left.
I mean, I even started eating dog food, which... I mean, I told myself, I like this, when I was with you, but now that I'm not with you, I can't believe some of the levels I stooped to just to suck your dog dick.
Yeah. This is a great metaphor for the British.
James Bond was the ultimate dog.
Yeah. Dude.
So there you go.
Yeah. Every woman he slept with ended up getting murdered.
Dude, St. Patrick.
Yeah.
What do you know about that guy?
He's the dude that drove the snakes out of Ireland.
He was born in Britain in 35 AD.
Okay.
So,
damn.
When the world was created, 35 years later.
35 years after that, that's when he was born.
Yeah. So he was originally British.
Yeah.
And he was taken into
by
slavery.
Snakes. Oh, okay.
By snakes from Ireland.
Yeah.
So all the snakes left Ireland to go to Britain to find slaves. And then they never returned because I guess Britain was cool.
They're like, we like it here better.
They had other snakes there. He spent years being a slave for this one master that he had, and claimed to have heard a voice telling him to leave his master and sail home, which to me just sounds like I'm
crazy.
tired of being a slave. I kind of just feel like I should get out of here.
Sounds like crazy slave talk to me.
Yeah.
I would have been like, yeah, right, slave.
Why does he have to be like, oh, I heard a voice? Why can't he just be like, I was just sick of being a slave?
I think because they wouldn't let him go home for that.
I went to the shoreline and there was a boat and I got on it.
Yeah, I'm out.
That's about it.
Yeah. That little voice in your head is called your fucking conscience.
Right, exactly.
But
back then they thought every thought they had was God.
Right. I heard a voice tell me I don't want to be a slave anymore and I want to go home.
It was profound.
Yeah.
And I never thought this
I finally
before.
listened to that voice. Yeah.
It's like, dude, what are you doing? You don't have to do this.
I remembered back home they don't beat me.
Yeah. You're cleaning up shit and they make you sleep with the snakes. They make you fuck dogs.
Yeah.
God. So he started out being an atheist.
Okay.
His whole life he was sort of between atheism and pagan.
Yeah.
And then he went back home after he heard this voice. He became Christian, went back home, and became a bishop. So he
can only move diagonally
popularity.
Now.
Yeah. Well, he did. He went back to Ireland.
Yeah. He's just like, I can't. I'm moving backwards.
He went back to Ireland to convert the Druids to Christianity.
When I ever hear the word Druid, I definitely don't think of a human being.
I think of a giant stone.
Yeah, I think of a stone person.
It.
Yeah, like a goblin person. A druid is like.
I mean, here's the thing: we don't know that that's not what it was.
Yeah, there
are no pictures back
then. Is that what
then.
you call like an indigenous Irish person? Is a druid? I
think so.
Like a wood nymph?
I think they were like, the sort of the figureheads of the paganism movement.
Oh, yeah. Paganism, that's some crazy shit.
I mean,
I like paganism. I heard a story my manager told me about when Christians came to pagans in Germany and were trying to convince them that the Christian God is like the only powerful God. There's no other God. And the pagans were like, we don't really believe you. Like, we believe in lots of different gods. Like this tree, like this huge tree is like one of our most sacred gods. And so the Christians came and chopped the tree down and built a church out of the tree. And they were like, look at how powerful our God is, that he gave us the strength to cut your God down and build a place of worship for him out of your God's body. Like,
I mean, that's
won't you worship our
evidence.
God now? And the pagans were like, you got us. Like, we believe in your God now.
The
like,
one thing that we respect is power.
They're like,
and
your
violence.
God is super strong, and that's awesome. And the Christians were like, cool, we won. But what they didn't realize is, like, they're pagans. They don't have any problem with accepting there being another God, but they didn't mean they stopped believing in their other gods. They still believe in their other gods, and they still make sacrifices to their other gods. They're just like, well, obviously you do have a very powerful God that we don't know about, but you didn't have to kill our God.
That's like your parents getting a divorce and you're loyal to your parents still, but then your mom remarries and your stepdad hacks your dad to death.
Yeah.
And then like puts his skin on himself.
Yeah.
And is like, look, I'm your dad.
And nothing is happening to me, so I must be the
and
true.
And the kid's like, well, yeah, I guess you are my dad now because my other dad's fucking dead.
You're my one true dad now.
You're my dad.
Like, fucking give a pagan a new god and expect that to be the only god they worship, because they're just like, well, there's a lot of gods.
It's like, thank you for giving us this new god. It's like a playing card.
Yeah,
like, we got a new one.
They're like,
awesome.
Nice. We got an.
What does he do?
Yeah, he
walks on water.
Yeah, he's super strong.
He turns water into alcohol.
He can hear
Dude,
everything I'm thinking right now.
Yeah.
He doesn't like when I touch my penis.
Exactly. Yeah.
Are you sure he's real?
I bet that was the one thing they didn't like about it.
They're just like, yeah, we're not gonna believe this.
They're like, we're used to having our penises out all the time.
If he can only see me and my thoughts when I'm in that church you built, that's okay. But if he can see my thoughts all the time, man, we got really lost there.
Well, we're back. It's fine. Okay, so we went back to Ireland.
Yeah, became a bishop.
He went to visit his master, his former slave master, to pay him what would have been owed to him for his slave being gone.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm going to see my former slave master to make him my slave.
That's like how they viewed slavery. So he went back to like make his wrong right, essentially, and got to the guy's, giant house and found it on fire. And he's like, what happened? And people were like, oh, he set his house on fire with all of his riches inside and then jumped into it and killed himself because he couldn't face being overpowered by a former slave. And I'm sure St. Patrick was just like, damn.
Sounds a lot like that story got changed around over the years from
easily.
St. Patrick.
None of this could be
St.
true.
Patrick went back to pay his former slave master what he owed him. Oh, but I found him on fire in his house. He couldn't stand that I had become more powerful than him, and so he burned himself alive. And they're like, oh my God, I can't believe he would do such a thing. And he's like, I know, I can't believe he set his own house on fire.
And himself.
And burned himself. And all his riches are burned up too. No, don't look in my cart. No, there's nothing in there. His riches all burned with him. I don't know what happened. Like, dude, that sounds way more plausible than like.
Yeah.
But that's not how history gets told, History gets told as, oh, St. Patrick went back to pay the man what he owed, and the man had tragically burnt himself alive and stabbed himself 18 times in the throat before setting himself on fire. And it couldn't have been St. Patrick who had done such a thing.
He slit his throat,
dude.
And before he bled out, he lit everything. He gathered everything,
all his riches, and,
as he's bleeding out.
And he wrote a note to the townspeople saying, "I can't stand that my former slave is more rich than I am, and so I must do this to myself." St. Patrick's like, "Yep, that's what happened." They're all like, "Seems legit." None of us.
Well, you're a saint, so I'll believe.
Yeah, all the other townspeople are just like, "Well, we can't read what that note says, so."
Oh yeah,
that must be what it says.
Good point.
St. Patrick's like, "I'm a bishop. I can read."
Yeah.
Diagonal words.
Damn, what a saint.
What a St. Patrick, man. Anyway, that's how I'm gonna remember the St. Patrick story. He murdered that motherfucker.
So in a way, we're sort of celebrating a guy who started from nothing and then became pretty much one of the most powerful positions you could have back in the day. Like when you're in with the church.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
when the church is like everything, I mean, you're
even
pretty
still
set.
even still today.
Yeah,
if you're part of the Vatican, you can rape kids and no one's
so imagine
gonna get
back
you in
then
trouble
how much
for it.
more it was. Like he was just a rock star, pretty much.
Yeah,
and fucking burn this guy's house down probably.
Yeah,
and he's like, I'm gonna get away with it.
I mean, 35 AD. That's 2,000 years
The
ago.
oldest person alive was 35.
Funny to say though that those I think the very oldest dated like manuscripts we have of the Bible, like the first actual historical written records of
Like Old
biblical
Testament?
stories is from 35 AD. So like
Oh,
35
really?
years after Jesus died and allegedly was resurrected, that's the oldest we have of any. Like there might have been people writing Bibles when Jesus like was alive or the day after he died, but we don't have any. Like no one's found one that old. The oldest we've found is like 35 to 50 years after Jesus had died. So like you never know how much stories change from from when something happens to 50 years later. The story is completely different than what it was.
And give me a fucking break with the Romans all accepting the religion and then taking the Bible and then obviously rewriting probably most of it to fit what they want it to be.
Exactly.
I mean, give me a fucking
Come
break.
on.
Come on.
Speaking of fucking church and the Vatican and the Bible, Pete Davidson was in the news recently for condemning the Catholic. It's funny that people say he was condemning the Catholic Church. All he said was, if you support R. Kelly and like R. Kelly's music, it's the same thing as people who like and support the Catholic Church, even though they have a huge, rampant sexual abuse problem. Yeah. And then people are like, that's not fair. He needs to apologize to the Catholic Church. It's like, what do you mean? That is the most apt analogy you can even. It's like it's a 1-to-1 comparison. Like he's not exaggerating.
He didn't say anything that wasn't
true.
He's
He's not exaggerating anything. He's not like being unfair to the Catholic Church. He's just saying like, if you're still a Catholic and you still support the church, even though they have a history of doing all this horrible shit, like you can't say that anyone's an idiot for supporting R. Kelly. Like
it's the same as R. Kelly and the same as Michael Jackson, but on a way more massive scale.
Yeah. About 2,000 more years and about 1 billion more people affected. Like
the Catholic Church finally arrested after 2,000 years worth of evidence piles up.
Right, yeah.
Can't hide from it anymore, I guess.
They have finally excommunicated 150 bishops and people of the Vatican, but they're still going strong. They still have their fucking own city.
And who do we have to thank for coming forward with all this to trap them in this lie? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Pete Davidson of Saturday Night Live.
Turns out to be Jesus Christ.
Ariana Grande's ex-boyfriend.
He's like, yeah, I'm Jesus.
Yeah.
None of you thought, right? I got all of you. And Ariana Grande's just like,
love comedy.
Fuck, I had Jesus.
Yeah.
I didn't know it. I always thought he could do pretty incredible things, and I just didn't think about it.
Next.
I haven't heard that song.
You haven't heard that song?
How good is it really?
She's like, I had Jesus, but he wasn't the best. Thank you. Next.
Oh.
Thank you. Next.
Lord, send me a better man.
Jesus couldn't.
God's like, that's the best one I could come up with.
He's like
if you
he's like, that was an awesome dude.
Your standards are way too high.
Yeah.
Okay, that was Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Literally.
I sent him to Taylor Swift, and all I got out of it was an album.
He's ripped. He's tan.
Yeah.
He's nice. He can
funny.
do magic.
Yeah.
What else do you want?
This fool walks on water.
She's like, well, he wasn't circumcised.
Ooh. That's
Deal
a
breaker. Deal breaker.
Sound effect.
Cum sleeve.
Yeah. Oh,
that's
no. That's the
from another
callback.
episode.
That's the callback to the cum sleeve.
Go back and watch another
my
episode
God.
with cum sleeve.
That was that episode 1?
I think it was. Yeah.
That was
Episode 1.
good. I forgot about that. That was awesome.
You coined a term.
Yeah.
You came up with that term,
Dude,
and it works.
Foreskin is the cum sleeve. And
it immediately sends a lightning bolt into my brain just of bad feelings.
Oh, God.
So, yeah, man. So, happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patty's Day.
Let's
I'm
celebrate
sorry if I
guys
was
that come up
and
burn shit down.
I really wasn't trying to be disrespectful of Irish people or Irish heritage or St. Patrick
no, of course not.
at all. I love the Irish. Sorry, Conor McGregor, for the things I said about you. Don't beat me.
I mean, let's be honest, Conor. You should probably grow up a little bit.
Why is he? He's like the Irish person we know of. For some reason, he's like the spoke. What about Colin Farrell? He's Irish, isn't he?
Also a fuck up.
Oh, come on.
I'm just kidding.
I'm like that. Now you've taken it too far.
Colin, if you're listening,
now you've disrespected Colin Farrell, and that's too far.
Let's go get a beer.
He's a national Irish treasure.
Yeah. Well.
More treasured
I'm
than
sure
whiskey.
he's a cool guy. But, Conor McGregor...
Conor McGregor.
He's
There's only
smashing
one Conor
windows.
McGregor, and ain't nobody better, and he's gonna knock out Floyd Mayweather.
Doodle-doo.
Doodle-doo.
Beep, beep.
Doodle-doo. Doodle-doo. Conor McGregor. He's
Lost.
a Mick.
He lost that fight. So,
Conor McGregor.
since we're on, what do you call it? Hurtful topics about people's cultures
Right.
and differences.
Righto.
Let's keep it going.
Mm-hmm.
And who am I talking about? John
Wayne. John Wayne.
John Wayne
Gacy.
John Wayne Gacy.
No, John Wayne Pilgrim. What
Pilgrim.
do they call him? The Duke?
The
Sometimes he thinks he's John Wayne.
the king of Dukes, Dookie.
Tubuku.
Took massive
Tubuku.
shits. Big guy. Flooded toilets every time
Very
on set.
Racist guy, upset
Yeah.
about a lot of things.
Yeah.
When Marlon Brando sent like that Native American woman to accept the Oscar for him and like denounce Hollywood's treatment of Native Americans, John Wayne was like, "Boo! Get the fuck off the stage, you fucking redskin." He was just like, I don't know.
Did he actually
I don't know if
like
he said all
blow
those things.
up?
He was like booing and like jeering from the crowd and yelling.
Oh,
and, like,
yeah,
all
but
this
that's
shit.
sort of gangster though.
I mean,
he's
shit,
being
yeah.
real. He's like, I disagree with this.
Yeah.
Hear
Get
me,
this shit out of
Pilgrim.
here.
But apparently, an interview that was in Playboy magazine from 1971. All right. So, yeah, the things that he said in this interview are pretty bad.
Yeah.
But
Historical context.
what are we doing? Okay, this guy's dead.
Yeah.
He's been dead for a while.
Wait,
This is
people
from
are like
1971.
dredging this stuff up, like
They're-
mad about it.
Somehow this interview got brought up, and now people are going nuts about what he said in the interview from 1971. Okay. And specifically, the problem is with the airport, the John Wayne Airport.
Okay.
Not
Oh,
a
so they
different
want it
John
to be
Wayne.
named after someone else or something?
Well, they just want to. They're trying to figure out and they have a giant statue of him in the middle of the airport. So they're like, okay, is this a Christopher Columbus situation now? Like, we're gonna remove the statue, change the name because of one interview from 1971 that he gave.
Man, people are fucking just. Are they that bored? They have so
I don't
little to
know.
do. They
I don't.
have so few things to actually be outraged about that they're mad about John Wayne statues.
Like, who even?
Like, dude.
Who even is gonna go to the airport if you're? After this, if you're someone who goes to that airport and you find yourself just unbelievably upset the entire time you're in there because you're in an airport named after John Wayne,
Yeah.
then you should just go get lunch, jerk off, and take a nap and think about killing yourself.
Yeah, like literally.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
rethink everything.
rethink everything in your
Where are
life.
you even going? Why are you at the airport? Maybe think about that. What are you
Yeah.
going to do when you get there?
Right.
You know what I mean? What are you going to do when you come back? Are things going to be different?
Don't let
You're gonna
John
get a different
Wayne's
perspective?
racist tirade hold any power over your life or your
The
mood
guy's
or your
dead.
thoughts.
Who the fuck cares?
No one cares what John Wayne says.
He was a fucking cowboy actor.
Yeah. I never would give one single thought to anything John. He could have personally berated me and told me I was the worst fucking person in the whole world. And
you're a piece of shit, Vince.
yes, I'm actually loving this. Feels like I'm actually being berated by John Wayne. And I wouldn't care. I'd say build 100 statues of the guy. I don't fucking care.
Build one in my front lawn.
Just sitting in an airport stewing over the fact this fucking airport's named after John Wayne. He said some horrible shit one time. Dude, George Washington's on the fucking $1 bill, isn't he? And
Yeah, let's be
that
honest,
fool
guys.
that fool moved his slaves from state to state every 6 months because in Massachusetts there was a law that if you were a slave for more than 6 months in one territory, you could buy your freedom, become a free man in that territory. But if you weren't there for more than 6 months, like it didn't count.
No
So
way.
every 6 months he would move his slaves to a new fucking state, and then 6 months later he'd move them back to avoid the fucking law where the slave could become free if they lived. This dude's on the $1
Whoa,
bill.
I did not know about this.
Yeah,
This is
so it's
cool.
like this is a founding father, obviously a little more important than John Wayne. We forgive people for being products of the time in which they lived.
Oh, yes.
1971's a little different than fucking 1776.
Yeah, but think about it, though.
But
Even
still,
if
like,
the interview was in 1971, when
Yeah.
was this guy born?
right, John Wayne was born in fucking 1920 or some shit.
Yeah,
Who knows?
so-
Like, the dude was, well, maybe they weren't. I'm not saying everyone in that time was racist, but, like, I mean, he was calling people Negroes probably and didn't think it was anything wrong with that. Like,
Well, no, because when you grow up and everyone you're surrounded by believes the same things.
yeah, it's like you can't take his statue down and diminish his accomplishments for being a racist. Like, we can denounce the way he thought and the things that he said and not stew over it and let it affect our lives and not worry about it going forward. Anybody that's just like, it's a disgrace to, you know, it's hateful, his image shouldn't be, we shouldn't be naming things out. It's just like, get the fuck over yourself.
Maybe
the world
we don't
doesn't need to mollycoddle you all the time.
Maybe we don't have to, you know, name any other things after John Wayne.
Right.
Maybe we'll
There
just
you
have
go.
the one thing be
Yeah.
his thing, and
Yeah.
he'll still, the movies will still be around.
Right.
They're part of cinema history, like,
Right.
and then we'll just fucking move on.
It's not called John Wayne Hates the Blacks Airport. It's just John Wayne International Airport. Like, what the fuck? Like,
Could you imagine if that was the?
Well,
it's just John Wayne Airport, like underlined in all caps, and then
Just-
underneath it, just in smaller writing, hates the Blacks Airport.
yeah, international.
Hates the Blacks Airport.
Yeah. John Wayne International Hates the Blacks Airport. Or the statue was like of him, like with a slave boy with him. Like, obviously take that statue down. What about like the Redskins football team? Are we going to change their name? Like, I feel like that's more of a priority than John Wayne Airport.
That's way more important.
Like,
I feel
we're like literally, it's named after a racist slur.
Yeah. We
It's-
might as well. We could have, you know, throw up any other term and just
Yeah.
name a team after that.
Right.
Like, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
The Native Americans, I will say, are the most forgotten about people
Yeah.
and not talked about people.
The Native
on Earth.
Americans and the Gypsies. You
The
can be.
Gypsies,
You
yeah.
can. You can say.
You're not even supposed to say gypsy,
bro.
anymore,
You can.
right?
But if someone shortchanges you, you'd be like, you gypped me.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine. No one's going to call you on it. No, because it used to be you Jewed me. You Jewed me out of money because people had the
Yeah,
idea
yeah.
that Jewish people are stingy
Yeah.
with their money. You Jewed me. Also, gypsies have the connotation or the idea people think they're stingy with money or they're like always scheming to make money. So you gypped me out of my money. You Jewed me out of my money. I've heard people be like, oh man, you gypped me.
Yeah,
But like
all
no
the
one,
time.
no one even realizes that's like a racist
Yeah,
thing
well,
to
that's
say.
the thing is most the people who use terms like that are not even realizing what they're saying.
Yeah, no,
is
they're not trying to be
offensive.
racist. Like in their
They're
mind,
not thinking
in
about
their
a
mind, there's
person
no
who's a
racial.
gypsy.
Yeah, there's nothing racial about that. In their
They're not
mind.
thinking about. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe with Jude, maybe a little
Dude,
bit, but
it's like, oh my god, Jennifer called me a jungle bunny one time.
that's just
No, wait,
adorable.
was it jungle bunny? It was like a racist. It was a racist term for black people. That's like not. It's like the most obscure racial slur. Jigaboo. That's what she called me.
I think I may have heard that once.
And she
but I
had
didn't
no.
even know.
It's like a racist term for, you know. It's like calling someone a Sambo or a Negro or whatever. Like, it's not. It's very racist to say, but she had no idea. So she's just like, you Jigaboo, and I was like, what the fuck? I started laughing my fucking ass off because she is not.
She just has no
She
idea.
would never use a racial slur
Yeah.
on purpose, and she just had no clue what she said. And I just like I told her what it meant, and she just went white as a sheet. She's just like, I call people that all the time.
Oh no!
I'm just like, you've been out in the world calling people jigaboos for how long now? Like,
She goes outside again, and then like her pictures up everywhere. And It's
Yeah.
just like racist.
yeah, I was just
Like,
like,
watch out for this person.
that must have been how she felt after she found out.
It's just her smiling and waving.
Yeah,
Just like
hey, jigaboo,
known racist,
what you doing, old jigaboo?
believed to
It's
be
just like,
affiliated with John Wayne.
what does that even mean anyway? But it's a funny sounding word to me, and it's a funny sounding thing
Well, it
to
doesn't
call
even
someone.
sound hateful.
No,
it just
if
sounds
you
like
if you didn't know it was racist, there's no way you would ever assume. Like, it sounds like the most goofy.
Yeah.
It sounds like calling someone a goober.
yeah,
you know?
like yeah, exactly.
like you goofy
It
goober.
does sound just like that.
But I thought that, dude, I laughed and laughed and laughed, and she was like mortified. I wonder how many people she had called a jigaboo, and that just like looked at her like, what the fuck?
To be honest, I don't know how many non-black people even know that is a racist term.
You're probably right. Probably
what
a
I
lot
mean?
of people don't even realize.
Just
it,
like I don't think saying gypped or bringing up gypsies was ever really something that I said a lot, but I
Right.
also didn't know that it was a hateful term.
yeah, something insensitive to say.
And I think
maybe
that's
the
the
problem
case
with
with
the
most
maybe that's
words.
the problem with the whole Redskins thing is a lot of people
don't even
a lot of people
realize.
don't even realize that that's
Yeah.
actually offensive or racist or whatever.
And it's crazy that they haven't changed the name yet.
Like, it's so blatant to me. Like,
Yeah.
it
really is.
we had the LA Sambos as a
What's a
football
Sambo?
team. I think it's actually a racist term for like a Polynesian person, maybe. I don't know.
Huh.
I know a lot of racist words, I guess, but a Sambo is a term used for a person with African heritage. I guess also can be a Zambo. Person of mixed black and white ancestry, more black than white, so like mulatto.
Oh, okay.
I've never heard of these words either, but it says mulatto quadroon.
Huh.
A quadroon, that sounds insensitive to say.
Sounds like a fruit.
It was a person who was of 1/4 African and 3/4 European ancestry.
Good God. You have to have a name for every
like,
percent?
That's a quadroon.
Jeez.
His grandma and grandpa are white, but his mama married a black man.
Like,
So
we have to
he's a
categorize every
quadroon.
type of person with a
Good
name.
God.
We just got to do it.
A quadroon.
But it's ridiculous, though, because obviously if you're a white person and you use any of these terms, like, I'm sure there are people listening to this that are like upset that we're saying this because we're white.
Right. I've said a lot of
racist
racist
we're
words.
not being racist. We're talking about the race.
I'm not going to be
issue.
I'm not going to be afraid of a word
Yeah.
that I'm saying to get across my point when I'm in a conversation. Obviously, if I'm out spewing these words in a context that's hateful, that's fucked up. But like, it doesn't scare me to say it. Like,
It sends a shockwave out into the air, like,
like
immediately.
it
when you
is
say
like
it.
that's so terrible. But
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not going to say N-word. Like,
But the point is that with you and I, and just I think with white people in general that aren't racist,
Right.
specifically,
yeah.
that word is like so frightening
Yeah.
to
I don't like it.
non-racist white people.
It doesn't. It makes me like want to gag when I say it, but it's like I don't like that about myself either. I don't like that a word has so much power that it actually like gives me a physical response to say it.
Yeah,
like I
it's
don't like
strange.
to say it.
It's strange
So
that
like
just a word
in
can
this
do that.
context to say for me to be like N-word, 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 I feel like I'm so afraid to even just say the word that it makes
Yeah.
me feel like a little bitch. Like I'm not gonna
It
allow.
does sort of make you
I'm
feel
not
like a little
gonna
bitch.
not say the word.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna call someone that word because I'm
Oh,
not
of
a
course
fucking
not.
psycho.
Yeah.
But like if we're talking about like Tom Sawyer or fucking Mark Twain or people from that time period that
Yeah, good
like,
point.
And I'm just gonna like if I'm reading Tom Sawyer, I'm not gonna say N-word when I come across the fucking word. Like
You're like reading it out loud in class, and the
Yeah.
teacher's like, up. Say the word,
Yeah.
or I'm
Say
gonna
it.
fail you.
Right. Don't be scared now. The black kid in class is looking at you like, don't say it. He's like, if you say it, I have to fight you, man. He's like, I don't want to fight you.
Or he's looking at you like you're about to leave him behind and
Yeah.
like leave Earth. He's just
Right.
like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Just go.
He's like, you can say it.
Just do
Just
it.
this
Yeah.
time. Just this time you can say it. And then you
I'll
say it and he
forgive you.
closes his eyes and shakes
Yeah.
his head. He's like,
Just super dramatic music playing in the background.
yeah. He's like, I understand you had to say it.
Yeah.
I forgive you this time.
It's like, I know you're not that. Just go. Just do it. Yeah, but the John Wayne thing is crazy.
That's, yeah.
And
Too much. If you give too much of a voice to people saying irrational things, this is where you get. Like they think that it matters that it hurts their feelings that John Wayne had bigoted remarks or bigoted ideas. It doesn't matter that hurts your feelings. No one fucking cares if that hurts your feelings. Like, I'm sorry.
well,
but-
you know what it's sort of like, though? It's sort of like the St. Patrick situation. It's like black people and other races and Native Americans and gay people, all people that were not, quote, normal or white,
Yeah.
whatever, all went through enormously tough times.
Yeah.
Horrible times for a really, really long time. And a lot of them still are today.
Because of their difference. Because they were different.
But in the same case, sort of as a parallel example, St. Patrick left that life,
Yeah.
left that hardship, moved on,
Yeah.
became something more, believed in himself, and just kept going, kept trucking.
Yeah.
And then, things worked out for him, luckily.
Yeah.
But then he goes back, and in our consensus of the
Yeah.
story,
Yeah. Decide.
he fucked up his master
Yeah.
that owned him,
Right.
which may or may not have happened. But let's just say, for this argument, he did.
Right.
It's the same
burned him
situation
up.
as, okay, he left something terrible, got a way better life, and then couldn't let it go.
Yeah.
Came back and
Yeah.
had to destroy the symbol of
Right.
his hard times.
Totally. Yeah.
So
I
that's
get
what's
that.
happening now.
I
We're
get
like,
that.
dude, this guy's already dead. Now we're trying to destroy his memory.
Right.
We've come a long way since
Yeah.
then. Let's
Right.
just keep going.
Right. Exactly.
Let's just forget
Stop
about
looking
that
back.
bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a fucking cowboy actor.
Mm-hmm.
Who gives a shit? How
Right.
often have you ever thought about John Wayne until
this
right
is
now?
the most I've ever. Yeah.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
could give a fuck less if you.
who even knew who John Wayne was? If you're
Yeah.
if you're like 20 years old, you probably don't even know who John Wayne is.
Right. They do.
And now you're like, "Oh, I'm outraged by
Right.
John Wayne.
Yeah.
Who is this John Wayne?"
John Wayne International Airport. They're like, oh, he's probably a fucking founding father.
Burn
or
down the
something.
fucking airport.
Yeah.
Do it now. I mean, it's like, come on. I don't know. But hey, let's read some of the things that he said.
Okay.
Here it is. So this is what he said about black people.
Okay.
I believe in white supremacy.
Oh man.
We can't get down on our knees and turn everything over to the blacks.
Fuck.
When you say the blacks,
Yeah, that's
it's
yeah,
ill intent at
right.
that
That's
point.
yeah.
Like you just
with the
you know,
yeah, that's
the.
yeah.
So that's not cool.
It's just it's so sad to me that people have that frame of mind that it's like a us against them type of thing.
Yeah, turn everything over.
Like people see it as so like affirmative action, like trying to help minorities get jobs when they've been historically denied like jobs. Like let's try to hire some more minorities instead of only white people. And then white people are like, you're never gonna hire another white person again. You're just giving them a handout. You're giving them all this shit that you wouldn't even give to us. And it's just like, I don't really like. You don't need to see it that way. It's not like just because we're trying to help someone else less fortunate doesn't mean that anyone's taking anything away from you.
Exactly.
Like
exactly.
people, it's just fucking crazy that adversarial. Fucking, the Mexicans took my job. They took our jobs. It's like, yeah, you were gonna pick berries. How many white guys do you know that have ever fucking been out in a field picking berries all summer?
So
Like,
I did that.
yeah,
And I was the only white person there.
Mhm.
And I did it for years.
yeah, and dude, you are the 0.0001%
Yeah.
of white people that have ever done that.
I was undercover, though.
They're not taking our
I was
jobs.
in
Like,
Mexican face.
You were real tan that summer, dude. I don't want to fucking cut this short, but I am out of time.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a really short one today because Jennifer had plans, or Jennifer and I were gonna like go on a hike or something because it's nice this afternoon. So I wanted to try to be home when she was like done with church and stuff. So
Well, we're at like an hour, so that's not bad.
I feel like it just sucks because now we actually have some pretty good fucking momentum going. And,
oh, we didn't get to sperm Jesus.
oh shit. Well, save it for
Next time.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds like it could be some fun shit. So save
All
it
right,
for
guys.
next time.
Well,
Thanks for listening to your friends. Sorry, boys, I gotta cut it short this time, but we got shit to do on a beautiful sunny Sunday.
it's very nice out,
So,
so that's cool. All right. Well, see you next time.
lady, y'all.